Hey, what's up? So today is going to be a very short, quick video, and I'm basically going to go through 3 different methods to grade log footage or take your footage out of log. This is something that comes up pretty often. People ask me all the time, what's the best way to do things? And I'll tell you right now, there's not really a one best way to do things. It really depends on the footage, on your workflow, on how something was shot. But today I'll show you 3 different ways and maybe explain a little bit about when you might be using a certain situation over another. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump right in and let's get started. So first off, you can see that right here I just dropped in 2 clips where we can easily see that these are in log. This is Blackmagic raw footage. And so the first method is just basically leaving everything non-color managed and grading everything yourself. Okay, so this is just the first thing here, and I would say the first method is the easiest. It's just kind of going through and grading the footage yourself. So maybe I would just do that. Set the shadows where I want them. Bring it up, and then let's say maybe I will. And I'm just going to do a quick grade here, nothing too crazy. So this is just a manual color correction. Zoom in, we were here, and now we're here. And this is me just going through and, adjusting the shadows, lift, gamma, gain here on my own, saturation, and that's basically it. So reset this one. And the second option would be what probably most people do, is just simply applying a LUT. So it's simply creating an additional node, right click, LUT. This is Blackmagic designed 6K footage. So I would simply select Blackmagic Pocket 6K film to video. And then from here, you would simply go in here and, start doing your adjustments. Maybe I will lower that, it's a bit hot. Adjust your shadows a little bit. Maybe I'll raise my midtones here and bring down the highlights a little bit, boost the saturation, and there we go. So this is basically applying a LUT to get me kind of part of the way there. We were here, you applied the Blackmagic film LUT, and then you kind of start your grade. You can see a LUT, the downside with the LUT, it's just kind of doesn't care how the footage was shot. That's the only downside to it, which is why a lot of times colorists don't like using them unless they know exactly what that LUT is doing. For example, in a custom LUT situation where they're going to pop that in, that LUT was created by them, or maybe the DP or someone on the production. Otherwise, you're kind of in this kind of situation where you apply it, and yes, it helps. It makes it look a little bit better, but you can see that it kind of blew this out. And I made adjustments to bring things back. In some situations, it can actually be more work than just leaving something non-color managed, grading it from the flat log image, because a lot of times when you do apply something such as in this situation, you then have to tweak it, and it can create a little bit more work. And then the third way is basically going into your color management settings. Here's the default settings. It's just using the Vinci YRGB color science. Okay, and the default is Rec 709 Gamma 2.4 for your timeline color space, which is good. If you don't know how to handle this stuff here in the color management tab, I would say just leave it at that, and you'll be fine. But if you were to switch this over to DaVinci Color Managed here, and then I won't go into color management too deeply, but basically I'm just going to say turn that on to color managed, automatic color management. And I'll actually move this here so you can see it. And then when I hit save, you can see that DaVinci Resolve applied its smart color science way of transforming this out of the log workspace. And you can see here that it did a really nice job. It didn't really blow anything out like the LUT or crush any shadows or do anything weird or overly saturate things. We've all been in situations where we've applied a LUT and all of a sudden the image looks crazy like that. So it did a nice job. And then from here you can go in and again kind of do your own grades. Again, just doing a very fast, simple grade, and the saturation is actually pretty nice that DaVinci Resolve Auto Color Management did. And again, we were here, or really this is how Resolve applied the color transform out of log. It was very flat. And then you just go in and apply your own little adjustment there. Okay, so again, those are 3 very quick ways to take your footage from log into a better working space. The first one was just leaving things non-color managed and just grading from scratch. The second one was just applying a LUT, which we saw can be a little bit aggressive and is probably the one I recommend the least. And then the third one is turning on the DaVinci Resolve Auto Color Management, because Resolve is really smart, really great at converting footage and transforming footage into a good working space. I feel like each one of those situations has its time and its place. A lot of times it's down to personal preference. Some people like just grading their stuff from scratch. They don't apply any LUTs, anything. Some people, you know, especially if you're not a professional colorist or have a lot of experience color correcting or grading, maybe the fastest way for you, if you know you shot something today, it's due tomorrow morning and you just got to do something very quickly, the fastest way sometimes, you know, just apply a LUT, tweak, and then export if you're in kind of a time crunch. And then the one that can sort of be the most complex is if you start introducing color management, especially if you have a lot of different cameras and clips. Each one is best for its own situation, but hopefully this helped. Hopefully you learned something, and it will at least maybe be the tip of the iceberg for you to kind of go out and check out, okay, what are benefits of LUTs, what's the benefit of doing it from scratch and introducing, you know, color management into your workflow. If you do have any questions about any of this or want to see more videos where I expand on it, let me know. Subscribe, like, and I'll see y'all next time.